August 20th, 2019. Government inspectors arrive at a brand new $15 billion city in the middle of the Myanmar jungle. On paper, it's a special economic zone, branded to be the Silicon Valley of Myanmar. But the reason why inspectors are here is far more sinister. In reality, this new city is a fortified prison. It's a city built on slavery and industrial-scale cyber scams. So who was behind it all? Well, this is where things stop making sense. See, the architect behind all of it, She Zhijiang, was a billionaire and a wanted fugitive in China. Yet he was also taking photos with Chinese state officials and being protected by the very government that was trying to arrest him. So which was it? Was he like a crazy genius criminal or a protected state asset? And how did it all come crashing down? To understand about how this was even possible, you first have to understand the huge illegal industry he was part of: illegal gambling. See, when China banned gambling in 1949, the demand didn't just go away, it shifted. This created a golden opportunity for offshore casinos, both physical and online, all across Southeast Asia. And this is the exact world She Zhijiang mastered. Born in China, he made his first real money by running an illegal lottery scheme in the Philippines that targeted Chinese citizens. And let's just say, this little business venture was pretty profitable. He raked in $300 million before the walls started closing in. See, facing pressure from China, the Philippines started arresting hundreds involved in the industry. She's entire crew, all of his partners, were arrested. But She himself, well, he was long gone. He moved his operation to Cambodia, got a new fake name, and the money started printing again. But by 2019, things were getting bloody. Chinese gangs were kidnapping people who couldn't pay their gambling debts, and this kind of forced Cambodia to crack down, and the entire multi-billion-dollar industry fled overnight. She was on the move once again, but where do you go when even Cambodia is too hot? Well, he had to find a place with even fewer laws, a place that would become the new permanent home for his operation, Myanmar. He found the perfect spot, a forgotten village on the border of Myanmar and Thailand called Shwe Kokko. Now, on paper, this place made zero sense. We're talking rice fields, unreliable power, and dirt roads. There was very little infrastructure in place for anything. So why would a criminal mastermind sitting on hundreds of million dollars choose this exact spot to set up shop? Well, the answer wasn't in Shwe Kokko. It was about who controlled it. See, to understand why this was the perfect location, you have to understand the absolute mess of Myanmar's politics. For decades, this region has been in a constant state of civil war, controlled not by the government, but by ethnic militias and warlords. Now, the man who controlled the land around Shwe Kokko was a colonel named Saw Chit II, leader of the local militia. If She was going to do any business in the region, he had to have this man's blessing. Luckily, a colonel in need of cash to fund his army was exactly the kind of person that could be persuaded to join a new business venture. Now, She didn't approach the colonel as himself. He came under a different banner, representing a company called Yatai International Holdings Group. This new company was his cover to make the biggest deal of his life. Now, Yatai looked like a completely legitimate company. It was hard not to trust it. The proposal they made wasn't just another casino town. The project was marketed as something far more ambitious, part of China's official Belt and Road Initiative. In 2017, even Chinese state media reported on the project's launch, calling it an important economic corridor. To outsiders, it looked like the Shwe Kokko project had official backing from Beijing itself. But remember, here's the thing. She Zhijiang, the man behind it all, was a fugitive in China. So how is he attending official Belt and Road summits? How is he rubbing shoulders with government-linked investors? He wasn't hiding at all. He was operating in plain sight. He was seemingly being protected by the very government that had put him on its wanted list. Meanwhile, back in Myanmar, the colonel and She struck a deal and Shwe Kokko started rapidly transforming. Villagers were forced off their land as thousands of workers poured in from China, bulldozing rice fields to build villas and casinos. The deal was publicized, and along with it came the scrutiny. So, on August 20th, 2019, the government officially inspected the site. They announced that all the construction was suspended, and that should have been the end of it. Well, on the ground, nothing changed. Locals reported that work was still going full steam ahead 24/7, and satellite images from just a few months later revealed that the project had sprawled over 100 acres of unapproved land. Zhe was completely ignoring his initial agreement and permits. With the main construction complete, Shwe Kokko was officially open for business. Now, the city's main hustle was illegal online gambling, but they soon pivoted into pig butchering scams. They're basically where scammers build up trust and emotional connection with a victim, usually through social media apps, before then guiding them to a fake investment scheme, where the victim then puts in all their money and then the scammer runs. Now, who would be willing to do this job? Nobody. You'd have to be missing a moral compass to do it, so Zhe had to lie. He used online job postings advertising high-paying tech jobs. Victims would then travel to Thailand, where representatives of the company would confiscate their passports and phones. They were then trafficked across Thailand and into the heavily fortified compound in Shwe Kokko. They were told that their real job was defrauding people. They worked 17-hour days under constant watch, were beaten and put in solitary confinement. And the only way out was to pay a ransom of thousands of dollars, which most people that came didn't have. By 2020, Shwe Kokko was becoming infamous. The Myanmar government, facing public pressure, launched a formal tribunal to investigate the city. China suddenly put out a statement disavowing everything, that the project had nothing to do with the Belt and Road Initiative. It was looking like She Zhijiang might have to flee again. But then...
After nearly a decade sharing power with civilians, Myanmar's military staged a coup.
The government investigation into Shwe Kokko stopped because, well, the government ceased to exist. And the new military junta that took its place was strapped for cash. The coup not only stopped the probes into Shwe Kokko, it actually incentivized it to grow. But the city got too big. The scams were hitting people globally, and Western countries, including the US, began to notice. They sanctioned Sachit too, his military, and She Zhijiang. But Shwe Kokko was designed to be untouchable. See, Zhe was smart. The city ran on crypto, making their financial transactions hard to trace. The town was set up to be as separate from the global economy as possible. Anything short of a military operation into the city would do anything. Shwe Kokko was resilient. But Zhe, the man behind it all, wouldn't be. It's August 10th, 2022. She Zhijiang leaves Myanmar to attend a private dinner in Bangkok, Thailand. But what he doesn't know is that he's being watched. As he enters a Japanese restaurant, the police close in. Before he has time to react, Thai police surround him and take him into custody. An Interpol red notice had been issued by China against Zhe for running an illegal casino. Alright, so Zhe is cuffed and in a Thai jail. Case closed. Well, not so fast, because from prison, Zhe started telling a wild story. His defense? Well, he's a spy for China. He claims that back in 2016, a handler from China's Ministry of State Security, the MSS, approached him. In exchange for wiping his record clean, Zhe had to become a spy. He claims that the MSS got his case dropped, arranged his new Cambodian citizenship, and helped him frame Shwe Kokko as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. So why was he in cuffs now? According to Zhe, he stopped doing what they wanted, and now they're trying to silence him. And I mean, the whole thing is kind of sketchy. I mean, what was the chance that legitimate Chinese news sites were reporting on him without knowing his real identity? But regardless of whether he's actually a spy or not, that still doesn't excuse the horrible things going on in Shwe Kokko. And speaking of that, what is it like now? Just recently, there have been raids conducted in Shwe Kokko, arresting hundreds of people. And this has been in direct response to the increasing international pressure. Also, Zhe was extradited. He's now back in China, so who knows what'll happen to him there. And yeah, that's where we are today. Here's a video on your screen that you might like. I'll see you over there.